Hello, this is my name is Brian, and welcome to Renee's Sewing Room. We're so excited. She's been sewing for a while, and she's just done some incredible stuff. And I've been trying to convince her to go ahead and start making some of these YouTubes. I sit in the sofa with her many days, and we're watching YouTube videos, and some are good, and some are not as good, as you probably know. But she just has a talent that's just going to be incredible. And so today she's going to show you how to make these keychains, these incredible fob things that are real cool, something simple. If you are a beginner, this is going to be the channel for you. We're going to make a series of videos as we go through. I'll probably be making some commentary a little bit inside of this. Sometimes there's going to be an episode where I'm going to go out to Joanne. She sends me to Joanne's all the time. And so I'm going to go through and show you how to find stuff about basically asking where it's at and the right questions to do. And so get ready for some really cool videos. Like today's is going to be the fob. If you enjoy this video after the end, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe. If you have questions, put it in the chat. This is going to be a great series that you're going to want to be a part of. So here we go. Hold on. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you like it at the end.
Hey guys, today I am going to show you how I make my mini key fobs. There's lots of tutorials out there on how to make these different ways using webbing and cotton and different kinds of fabrics, but today I'm going to show you how I make mine by just using scraps of fabric that I have in my fabric bin because I won't throw it away. So these are really a cute, fast sew, number one, and they're cute just to put on your keychains. If you throw it in your purse, it's easy to find your keys. And I really like being able to sew something when I'm in the mood to do something that's quick and be able to finish it within this, within the hour. So these are great little scrap buster projects to do. So we're going to do this today. All right, let's get started.
So is this something a beginner could do?
A beginner could definitely do this.
I could do this?
I don't know if you could do it, but a beginner could do it.
All right.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much hardware. Pretty simple.
No, it's not expensive. No, it's not expensive to do. It's easy, and yeah. Maybe we'll film you doing one.
Oh, there we go. That'll happen.
Do you know what a sewing machine is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a whole bunch of them in here since you made me go get all.
All right. So we're gonna do this today then.
All right. Cool.
Okay, so here are all the supplies we're going to need. These are all scraps that I've pulled out. This is 100% cotton fabric that I have. We're going to cut this piece 5 by 6.5. This is Pellon SF101 or Woven Fuse. I like to use this just because it's a little bit thicker than this other one. And I usually only use the scraps that I have left over. So this is nice because it fuses onto the back and it just makes your fabric a little bit stiffer and makes it work. You can work with it better. But if you don't have that, you can also use any kind of light interfacing. This one is Pellon P44F, I believe, for interfacing garments and things like that. We're also going to put a layer of either Fusible Fleece or cotton batting. You can use either. I like to use the fusible because it fuses in and it stays real nice.
What's fusible mean?
Fusible means that it has glue on one side, and then when you use your iron, you can glue it on by using your iron, and it fuses to your fabric.
All right.
That's what that's for. I also have double-sided tape. This helps me keep things together so they don't shift. This is my pliers that I use to close the hardware as the hardware that we're going to be using today. This is 1.25 inches. We're going to need some fabric glue, rotary cutter, this is cotton.
Thread?
I think it's cotton thread.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's thread, all right.
Is it a certain size? It doesn't matter.
This, I believe, is just the regular cotton thread I use from Connecting Threads. It's 50 weight, I believe. But this works good for quilting. You're going to need a pair of scissors to cut your tape, and then some clips to hold everything together. That's what we're going to need to get started.
And what's special about those clips?
I just like them. They don't make holes in your fabric. You can clip them to hold things together instead of using pins. You don't poke yourself with the pins. I do that a lot. And then that leads to cussing and stuff like that. So I like the clips.
All right, cool.
All right, let's get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is cut our piece of fabric that we need. I'm going to make this the width. So this is going to be 5 inches wide. And I'm going to allow a little bit of allowance here because I've got the edge of my fabric. So I'm going to cut this first. And I'm still going to have extra scraps for this. So make that edge there. Then I use the rest of the edge of my 5 inches, which is from here to here. And then that'll get rid of all the selvage here that I don't want. So I'll cut another line here. And then from here, I need 6.5 inches. So I'll just line this up on my mat and then count over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 would be here at the 22.5 line. So we're just gonna match that up.
So you said this is scrap material here.
Yep, right. I was making something else out of this, and then I had pieces of scrap, and I put it in the bin.
So I guess I'm just curious of what tiger thing you made that you used this material from before.
I used this on some masks that somebody wanted, so
okay.
Yeah. All right. And then after we do that, then we're going to flip it over. Now we're going to add the piece of woven fuse to this. I also just, this is the, remember I was talking about the fuse part? So this is the part where it has little dots of glue on it. When you heat it up, it fuses.
So how do you know which side has the glue and which side doesn't?
Well, you can feel the difference. So this side is real smooth, and then this side is real bumpy. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And
so
the bumps are glue bumps.
The bumps are glue bumps.
All right. There we go.
So I just put this in here, and then I recut along these lines so it's the same.
How do you stop from cutting your finger?
You have to be very careful. And these are really sharp.
But that cool ruler helps a lot.
The cool ruler helps a lot.
Okay.
Yes, this is a ruler that most quilters use.
Gotcha.
You can get them in all sizes.
That's why I'm not allowed to touch it.
That is exactly why you are not allowed to touch.
All right.
Yes, because these are mine.
Okay.
No touchy. All right, so I'm going to get these all trimmed, and then we're going to take this to the iron and fuse it together.
All right, how I bring the iron to you.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to iron this together. I always like to do it with the interfacing up. Just make sure that you have put the dotted rough side down onto your back of your fabric. Otherwise, it's going to get all over your iron and make an ugly mess.
That's cool. Now, can you use any iron, or we have to use a special one that you maybe get because it lifts up by itself or something?
No, you can use any iron.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is a cool iron.
It is a cool iron. I really like this iron.
What kind of iron is it? It's called
this is an Oliso iTouch. So I let go of it and it lifts up off the...
What?
Okay. It's nice because I don't have to use the motion up and down lifting, and that's nice for my arthritis. So, all right, I'm gonna do it one more time from the other side just to make sure that all the edges got. There we go. All right, so now it's fused from one to the back of the fabric. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the long edge, which is the 6.5 inch edge, and we're gonna fold it wrong sides together to meet each other. So we're just folding this in half, and then we're going to iron that down.
Now I can see if you accidentally put the glue on the wrong side, not only would it mess up your iron, but it would stick together right now.
It would be sticking together, but you would already find out and be swearing by now because there'd be glue all over your iron. All right, so now that I've done that,
go ahead.
We're going to get the same edges and we're going to fold them into the middle on each side, just like that. And then we're going to iron those.
It looked like you didn't quite go to the middle.
I went all the way almost up to, because we had to leave some room for folding and stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah. So then we're going to turn around, and then we're going to do the same. Not all the way up, but just close. Almost. You could still see the line. So now we have 3 fold lines. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is going to take that piece of fleece. I just pre-cut this. This is also 6.5 inches. And this is just a little bit wider than an inch. And the reason I did it a little bit smaller is so that there's room for folding over the fabric and it doesn't get bunched up. So it's just a little bit smaller.
Smaller than an inch? Did you say wider than
an inch? It's wider than an inch, but it's smaller than this 1.25 inch.
Ah, so between an inch and 1.25 inches.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, so once we got it in there, then we're going to fold this side in, fold this side in, and then we're going to fold this 2 sides together like that. All right. And I think I need to move this over a little bit because I don't want it to come out. All right. There we go. So we're going to push it in here. And now the glue to the fusible fleece is facing up. So we're just going to put the iron on that for a few seconds just to kind of hold it in place. Because we're going to stitch this down by quilting, it really doesn't matter if it sticks or not. Okay. I'm using it because it's thick and I had lots of scraps of it.
All right.
So now we're going to take this to the sewing machine after we pin it. So we're going to just pin it or clip it here at the edge to hold it in place, because now we're going to sew this together or quilt it.
Nice.
All right.
Those are wonder clips.
These are wonder clips. Yes. You have any more questions?
I just wonder why people had pins in the past when they could have had wonder clips.
Well, these are a wonderful thing.
Right.
All right, let's go sew this up. All right, so I'm going to use 1/8 of an inch seam allowance on this by top stitching over the top of this. I'm going to do this side first, the part that's open. And I'm going to back stitch in the beginning.
So what's a back stitch?
So back stitch is having your machine go backwards so that you can kind of lock in the stitch so that it doesn't unravel.
So
right.
Everybody who's doing this should already know how to use a sewing machine, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I would think yes. Okay. So we're going to just do this. What kind of needle
do you have to use here?
This is just a sharp needle for multi-purpose or universal needle. I believe it's a size 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of stitch are you doing? Because I know your machine has all these different fancy stitches.
I am using for my top stitch a 3mm stitch length. Okay.
Right. It's just a straight old stitch?
It's a straight stitch, yep. That's all this machine does is a straight stitch.
Oh.
All right, so when you get to the end, I don't cut the thread. I just stop and then I lift my presser foot and I pivot so that I can get to the other side. Just saves time, I think. So I get to the edge. Once I'm at the edge, then I turn it again and pivot. And now I'm going to sew down this side at 1/8 of an inch top stitch. All the way till they get to the back. When I get to this end, I'm going to do the same, except I'm going to stitch back over to the center so that I can do a center line down the middle. So this is kind of a guess because I'm quilting it. So what I'm doing is making quilt lines to secure everything and to make it a little bit stiffer.
So when you say you're quilting it, what exactly does that mean?
Quilting is putting together layers of fabric. So you have the underneath fabric, you have the middle fleece or your batting in the middle, and then your top fabric. And when you sew them together in one piece, it's called quilting. Ah. Right. So without getting into too much information, the closer you have your quilting lines, the stiffer your end piece is going to be, which is what we want.
Gotcha.
All right, so we're just going to sew straight down the middle. It's not going to be completely perfect, depending on how much experience you have. And then we're just going to go a couple stitches down, and then I'm going to flip it again. Now I'm going to use my presser foot to go run right straight down the middle of these 2 lines, so that I can do another line down here. So I'm just eyeballing it. then I'm gonna do it one more time at the end. Go to the end, flip it around. I'm lifting my needle just because it's not in the center, so. All right, and then I'm gonna do one more line down the middle. So the batting and the fabric is not going anywhere.
It's quilted.
It's quilted. I'm backstitching, and then I'm gonna cut. Now we're gonna go back to the table where we can trim this off and put it together.
Perfect. Good.
All right, now that we've sewn it together, you can see it's kind of twists a little bit. So I usually take the iron to it and flatten it out. Just a couple of swipes works great.
Especially with that cool iron.
Especially with this cool iron. All right, now what we're going to do is trim it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right, so I just kind of trim off whatever excess hangs over the fabric, as it stretches a little bit when you quilt. So I have all those threads hanging. Cut that off. There we go. Okay, now that we've done that, now what I like to do is, this is completely optional. You don't have to do this, but I like to do it because I'm somewhat of a perfectionist when it comes to lines, straight lines and stuff like that. And so I like to put tape on this. That's where the double-sided tape comes in, so that it will stay put while I'm working with the hardware.
So can't you just use duct tape? That's what I always use.
No, duct tape would not work in this instance.
But duct tape works on everything.
Oh, well, maybe everything you do, but not everything I do. Duct tape is definitely not the go-to tape in this situation.
Gotcha.
All right.
Are there better types of tape, or does it matter?
The tape that I'm using here is a tape for leather, sewing leather. So it's very, very strong. I love it. It can gunk up your needle a little bit, so and it could be expensive if you use a lot. But you can also use the Washaway Dritz double-sided tape that you can get at Joann's. You can buy it online. It's not as strong. It's not as sticky as this one.
And the reason you're using tape is just so it keeps.
So to keep it together, so that when I'm inserting it into the hardware, which we need to get out, okay, that the hardware, if you're trying to put it in and it's not set, it slides and it moves around. Oh, okay. And it bugs me, so I put the tape on there. Yeah. And I also use glue.
So is this hardware I can get at Joann's?
You can get this hardware at Joann's if you're just going to make one or two for yourself. But if you're going to make a whole bunch and sell them, I would not buy it at Joann's just because they're more expensive there. But
you know I'm pretty adept at Joann's now that you keep sending me there.
Yes, I know that you know where everything is at Joann's.
At least I ask.
You ask, right? So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to squeeze this just a little bit so it's more workable, just to put these two ends together. So I just kind of use the palm of my hand and my body weight to just squeeze it a little so it's a little bit closer. Not all the way close because then you can't get it in. But then that's when I put the glue inside, because when I was first making these, I had a couple people, just our kids actually, our daughters, that came back and said, Mom, this came out. So now I put glue in it so that I can make sure that it's sturdy.
And it's fabric glue.
This is fabric glue. It's called Fabri-Tac by Beacon. I love this glue. You can
white Elmer's in there, like that.
I wouldn't put it. No, I would use fabric glue. Yeah. Then you just slide it in there. All right. So now, you know, I can be free with situating, moving my hands, and this is not going to come apart because I've taped it together. All right. So now that I got that in there, the only thing I have to do is use my little pliers here.
So you can just use, I see you got some real fancy pliers there. We can just use like the ones from my toolbox, as long as it puts them over it so it doesn't scratch. Or
you can do that. I think I did that at first, but it slips a little bit. Okay. So it's a little bit harder.
So the right tool for the right job.
This is the right tool for the job. Okay.
But you're doing it at the edges too. So
yeah. So I do it right in the center first. Then I do the edges because I like to see the clips closed very well so that I know that these are not going to come out. Nice. And I do that because I sell mine, and I like my customers to have well-made things, and I take my time to make sure I do it right. Sweet. So all you do now is just add your ring, and there you go. You've got your cute little key fob. So
if people have questions or things, just go down in the chat below and type anything, and subscribe to your videos as we continue to make some. I'm pretty excited about some of the things you're going to be able to do.
Well, that's cool.
I'm going to be able to help you with.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a video of you making one of these.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'll happen, and it won't probably be that tiger print, though.
No, we should get you something different. Maybe some Star Wars or something like that. All right.
Thanks. Well, there you have it. What a simple project, and what an amazing look that you will have. If you like the video and you're going to actually make it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up on there, and you go ahead and subscribe, as we're going to be making a whole bunch of more videos. But what I'd really love for you to do, if you do make one, we'd love to see it. You can tag us on Instagram at It's Just My Hobby. You can follow us on Facebook as It's Just My Hobby, and go ahead, tag us there, upload the photo so we can see it. I love to see it there. And so we'd be able to do that. If you want to see us on Etsy, It's Just My Hobby is the place, or you can just go and see all the stuff that Renee has made at itsjustmyhobby.com. So thank you again. Hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you next time.